2 days ago, I received information that I am needed here. And I understand their plight because I was a teacher before. So they said not many people want to become teachers. I was a teacher before I became a communications officer. In fact, I taught for 10 years and I'm still teaching. So being a teacher is not that much bad. It prepares you to whatever you want to do in the future. I bring you greetings from the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication, commonly known as MAJAC, where I served as Communications Officer and also a trainer in digital media and film and photography. Today I want to speak to you, or the topic given to me is to talk to you about the career opportunities in communications and challenges. Communication is a part of everyday life. When a village alcalo needs to spread information, he has someone to send the message to the public. In your schools, in your various clubs, when you want to converge for a meeting, you have what you call the PRO to go and announce that meeting. When the police want to inform the public about their activities, when you need some information from the police, you have the police PRO to go to. When NAWEC want to inform the public about blackouts, water shortages, and some excuses, they have their PRO, the public relation officers, to do that job for them. That is the work of the public relations officers. You can call them the communications officers. Now, their role is vital in every institution. In every government institution you go to, in every civil society organizations, private entities, they have communications officers. They are responsible for visibility, to sell the good image of their institutions, to tell the public about the activities that they are up to, and they also educate the public. For instance, when a government ministry issues a public statement on national programs and communications, there is always a communication officer responsible. When the NGOs working on education, health, and youth empowerment shares their impact stories, public relations officers are the ones that write those messages. Even in festivals, cultural groups, they always have councilpersons to sell their agenda to the public. Now, when we come back to who is a communication officer in the Gambia today, communication officers work in different ministries, like I said. They work in local governments, in councils. They all have communications officers. Their responsibility, like I said, is to send messages to the public, not only to inform them, but also to educate them. Radio and television, they use it as a medium to communicate their agendas to the public. The political parties, they all have spokespersons. Those spokespersons, don't confuse it. When you hear the word PRO, communications officer, spokesperson, they are all referring to the same people. They are all part of the same team. They share messages. Schools and colleges and universities, they all have communication officers. They have PROs. Private sectors, private companies, they always have a team responsible for their branding and visibility. Like I do for my job. My responsibility is to record the activities that happen at the school and post it online, manage websites, Facebook, social media handles, and also receive calls when the need arise, when people need information about my institution. Now, they write press releases, manage social media pages, organize events, and speak on behalf of the institution like I'm doing right now. Now, all this being said, there are always challenges of the profession. And some of the challenges associated that we encounter in communication field, the greatest of all at this moment is misinformation and rumors. In this age of social media and WhatsApp, false information spread quickly. A single rumor can cause fear or confusion if not handled responsibly. Because as human beings, it's like we like chaotic situations. The moment a message comes, if it is chaotic, we don't take too much time to find out whether it is true or not true. We tend to like it, share it with people, and continue spreading fear to other people. Now, as communications officers, you may aspire to be, that is going to be your challenge. You will hear information about your own institution that may not be true or that are in fact false, cooked. Then it is your responsibility as communications officer to work with your institution to handle that matter responsibly. Another challenge is limited access to technology. Now, this is for the growing stars. As young stars, not everyone has access to smartphones or internet service, which is cheap, especially in rural areas. So communications must be balanced. That's why there are community radios outreach, and also we can leverage the use of digital platforms. But as young people growing up, if you want to work in the media, you should make it your business to understand technology. This is for policymakers, this is for teachers, this is for head of schools, to always make sure that students understand the use of technology. The world now has advanced, and technology is playing a vital role in that advancement. And in the near future, we are already there. Everything is going to be technology. So it is going to be of great use for us as young people to understand technology so we can be able to become media professionals in the near future. Another challenge of being a communications officer is public trust issues. When institutions fail to communicate clearly or honestly, people lose trust. A communications officer must always be transparent and ethical. Any information that you're going to share out there on behalf of your institution, you are supposed to be truthful. Because somehow, truth always finds its way out into the light, no matter how hard you try to suppress it. If you work for NAWEC, or you work for the Gambia Police Force, or you work for the Army, or you work for any ministry as communications officer, if issues happen at your institution that public should be aware of, communicate to them truthfully and be ethical in your communication. Otherwise, you will face that challenge of trust issues. Anytime you post a message, people will be like, this one again. If you hear that, that means you are not very You are not in their good books when it comes to telling the truth. So communications officers should be truthful. The last challenge I want to mention here is crisis communication. That is also a challenge. During emergencies like floods, power outage, health alerts, or poor communication can cause panic. Professionals must remain calm and accurate. If you are working for an institution and there is crisis, it is always important that you communicate responsibly without spreading fear. For instance, during the COVID-19 in the Gambia, there are a lot of information coming out from the Ministry of Health about the number of cases. There were flyers every day about the number of deaths, the number of infected individuals. But it took them so long for the ministry to be aware that, in fact, those flyers they share every day is even spreading more fear than the COVID itself. Because people see those information every day, they will have that mentality, okay, I am next. That fear. So the message that you share in the purpose of enlightening people about a particular thing could also spread panic. That's why responsible message sharing is important when it comes to crisis communication management. Now, apart from the challenges, what it takes to succeed as a communications officer, to become a successful communications officer in the Gambia, you need strong reading and writing skills in English language and local languages. Please, read. When you want to sharpen your sword or knife to cut something, you need whetstones to grind them to the sharp. If you want to sharpen your brain, read. Read, read, and read. Because if you are aspiring to become a communications officer, you need to have good command of language, English and other local languages. Because at Majad, I receive calls from every kind of individual, every tribe will call. We find way to communicate. I am not very often with other languages, but some parents will call, that person can only speak Jola. Inquiring about the school because he or she wants to enroll the child into the school. So it is my responsibility now to make sure we understand each other. So the person can be well informed about our school activities and all that. Apart from language, communications officers should have respect for culture and community values. That is very important, respect. Especially to respect one's culture. If you are working at a social institution or health and you are the communications officer, there are some health practice, social practices that are based on culture. If you want to communicate to people, discourage them about those practices in as much as it harms them, it has to be based on respect for their values and respect for their culture. And you must also have the ability to use radio, social media, and digital platforms. Because as communications officer, you need to be able to take proper videos of events, photographs, graphic design, to make infographics, because they communicate to people effectively. There's a universal language that everyone understands. That's graphic design, poster making. If everyone cannot speak English, but those graphic designs you're going to do is going to send message to everybody. As communications officers, honesty, discipline, and professionalism should be your motto. Communication is powerful. In a small country like ours, one message can reach to the entire nation. Now at Majak, we offer trainings in following programs that can aid you to become a proper communications officer. We have a journalism program. This is for those who have passion for storytelling, truth-seeking, and public service. Journalism at Majak trains students to become radio presenters, TV hosts, news reporters, and investigative journalists. You will learn news writing, reporting, interviewing, ethics, and broadcasting skills. We also have another exciting program called Film and Photography. Those of you that love movies or you are passionate about visuals, Films and Photography at Majak teaches you how to shoot, direct, and edit films, documentaries, create videos. You will also learn how to take professional photos, tell visual stories, and build a career in the creative industry. We also have digital media production and management. This program trains students in managing content across social media platforms, creating engaging digital videos, graphic design, and content for online audience. You will learn how to communicate effectively in the digital space and manage media projects. And the last one is communications. Our communication program focuses on developing skills in public speaking, public relations, and corporate communications. You will be trained to manage communication strategies for organizations, write speeches, and create campaigns, and handle social media relations. And our programs start from certificate level to advanced diploma level. Our students gain hands-on experience in radio, writing, digital media, and public relations practice, preparing them for the real opportunities in the Gambia job market. We believe in learning by doing at Majak, so that's why we have a fully functional TV studio and radio for practical sessions and presentations, a well-equipped radio and the TV, standard computer labs for editing videos, writing designs, and also online research. We have professional cameras, tripods, microphones, lighting equipment, all to aid you becoming a media person in the future as you aspire to be. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, students, this message is for you. As you aspire to become public servants, be it a communications officer or police officer or president or a lawyer, please use your voice to promote peace and national unity. No job will succeed, no building will succeed, no development will succeed if there is no unity, if there is no national unity. Not just you uniting with your compound people, not just you uniting with your tribe. When we say national unity, we're talking about uniting with everybody, despite our differences, our heights, our skin color, our tribe, our geographical locations, whether you are from Badibu, Kiang, or Fonyi, we are all one people. If you understand that, if you operate on that principle, you will be a great servant of your nation and leave a lasting legacy. Share information responsibly, especially on social media. Be careful of what you put out there and stop following people that only spread messages of insults, messages of mocking one another, and you enjoy it. Please do not enjoy that. It is not going to add any value to you. Respect national institutions and cultural values. Respect them. You're going to work for the police, respect the police. Whether you work for NAVEC or not, respect them. If you're going to criticize them, please put some respect to it. After all, they are serving you, they're working. It is very important that we respect each other when we are criticizing each other. That is very important. And choose careers that help develop the Gambia. Please, be proud to be a Gambian. Use communications to tell stories truthfully in a position that is going to help build yourself and build the nation as well. Now, on behalf of the Media Academy for Journalism and Communications, I would like to thank Kotu Senior Secondary School principal, staffs, and the students for this great opportunity. And I wish you a successful career studies ahead of you. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your career and cultural day.
Thank you, Mr. Bara. And that is not enough. Please let us give a round of applause for Mr. Bara. So, for those of you that aspire to be a journalist or to be a communication expert, people like him are those that you look at or those that you look up to be where you want to be. To be successful takes a lot. Determination, of course, but you need someone sometimes, or in some cases, to show you the way, to lead you. And if you have that, you can harness your potential, which will be in the best interest of the country. We skip some items on the itinerary because Mr. Bara have a concern to attend. So we go back to some of those. We would like to recognize the presence of a senior staff of the school, Mr. Cisse. Sir, thank you for joining us today. The principal in absent sent someone to give or to give a welcoming remark on his behalf because the management or the school management is busy with some administrative functions at the moment, so they cannot be here with us. But we have Mr. Baba Maron, Yaya Maron actually, who is the HOD of the Command Department. Baba, if you want to be part of human race today, you're welcome. So, Mr. Baba, you're welcome to give the welcoming remarks on behalf of the principal of the school. Please have a word.
We really thank God for today. And on behalf of the principal, Mr. Lamin A.K. Sanyang, I wish to welcome our esteemed guests, senior members of the staff, and the rest of the academic and non-academic staff present here. But we also want to welcome back our members of our ex-students association, who are always here with us in trying times and even in smooth times. The master of ceremony and organizers of this event, particularly my own brother, Mr. Suleiman Kamara, and rest of the humanities department. The fact that the principal is unavoidably being absent here, I think in the morning he has some interaction with some of the guests that has shown his appreciation for the activity today, but also very, very, very happy that we choose, the caliber of individuals to come and have interface with his students. He would have loved to come in person, but due to pressing administrative matters, he could not be here with us. But he is here in spirit, and I will deliver these statements word for word. Career goals are very, very important in the sense that Teachers will do their 880 credit hours to have classes with students theoretically, but sometimes can give scenario to mimic some of the practical examples. But we have individuals of diverse experiences in different spheres of influence. It is important that they come and join us to help our students to be better citizens of this country. And in this light, the characters I have seen with our students and the themes that they prepared, I have seen different people, mimicking different careers, even as a career president is present here. We also have career members of the bar, the security forces, the media personalities, and of course, the real life experiences of those people will give us a very, very good, example for us to, follow. On that note, this is a very, very significant event. The significance of the event is not only to come and make a merry, that is just for the happiness and fun that we derive from it, and that will go to show that even those present, as far as those sitting at the back, should sit down, listen very quietly, and does not make any noise. Because the points that are going to be made here are going to be footnotes for all of us to share. What the first speaker, mentioned here are all, food of thought for all of us. Especially, we have some people that are very, very, very concerned and are ready to be journalists in the future. And they do some of those exercises in the school year, in every assembly and every activity that the school goes to do. So this is very, very significant. I will encourage the departments to do even more innovative activities, because you may not know, but in our side talks during our global interactions with the rest of the other departments, the humanities department is doing wonders in the areas of innovation, in the areas of transformation, and the ultimate output, which is our students at the West African Examination Council, is always something that is very, very significant for such an activity. The number of university entrances from the school to the university and other tertiary institutions, humanities department is not left behind. They are doing wonders in that, and other activities that we do are really emulating, and other departments are more than ready to learn from you. So always inspire, not only your students, but inspire the rest of the school. And the ex-students also is very surprising, whether this department or any other department, any activity that is being called. You see members of our ex-student association coming to participate even more ready and willing than our current students. The community spirit that we are building in the four corners of the classroom is always extended even out of the four corners of the class. Whether you are working elsewhere, whether you are continuing learning in further studies, but you always make a comeback. That always, we are very, very happy to see that. So I don't want to bore you with much of the speeches, because we have a long day ahead. I understand from here there are going to be some cultural performances out of the confines of the school. On that note, I want to welcome our guests. I want to appreciate the Humanities Department for this initiative. I want to thank the students for coming. There are many students, but you choose to come, out of your pressing matters at home, but also the ex-students who volunteered to take part into this career development and career day. On that note, I declare this activity open. Thank you.
Moving on with the items on the itinerary, we would love to call on to Safe Lion Senor to read a poem for us. Is Safe Lion Senor here? Yes, sir. Please hurry. So let us have Mariam Puri. Where is she? Yes,
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mariam Turi, and I'm here to recite a poem entitled Journalism, Life of a Journalist. Life of a journalist can be irritating, frustrating, painful, disheartening, yet exciting. The journalist is trying to be the voice of the voiceless. It talks to hypocrites, a liar. But do you blame those who want to be their mouthpiece? I mean, we are just free for editorial. Editorial my grandparents didn't dare speak up because they were afraid of being locked behind us. Also, you can blame people that do not want to talk to us. But do you know what they keep saying? Oh, they have been complaining about the same thing, and nothing has been done. So why do they have to talk? But journalism is a noble profession because every story matters. But do you know how they impact on people's lives in a single story? Survive on race. Be ethical always. Do not be in a haste to break the false news. Always verify. Kudos to all journalists, especially journalists who concentrate more on people's interest stories. Peace from April, Mariam Turi. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, journalists, I join me now to welcome our individual to give a statement on behalf of the Council.
Our distinguished guests, the administration, senior members of staff, the general members of staff, parents here present, students, and all protocols duly observed, good morning to you all. As the head of the Humanities Department, I am delighted to welcome the staff, students, parents, and our invited guests to the Humanities Department Career and Cultural Day. This important occasion is designed to celebrate the richness of the humanities while guiding our students towards informed and meaningful career choices. The humanities, that is the subjects in our department, such as history, government, literature, geography, religious studies, civic education, but to name a few, equip learners with critical thinking skills, effective communication, cultural awareness, ethical reasoning, and a deep understanding of society. These competencies are highly valued in today's dynamic world and prepare students for diverse career paths, which includes, of course, teaching, law, diplomacy, journalism, public administration, international relations, social work, cultural heritage management, and community development. Career and Cultural Day provides a platform for students to interact with professionals, alumni, and institutions that demonstrate the wide range of opportunities that are available to humanities graduates. Through talks, exhibitions, cultural performances, and career guidance sessions, students are encouraged to discover their talents, clarify their ambitions, and appreciate the relevance of humanities education in national development. Equally important, the events celebrate our cultural heritage by showcasing tradition, values, and creative expressions. We reinforce
identity, unity, tolerance, and respect for cultural diversity. These are qualities that are essential for responsible citizenship and peaceful coexistence, as we taught you in civic education. On behalf of the Humanities Department, I express my sincere appreciation to the school administration, to the teachers, students, parents, and partners for their support in making this event a success. It is our hope that the Career and Cultural Day will inspire our students to pursue their future career paths with confidence, purpose, and pride as humanities students. On that note, I want to thank all of you and I welcome you to this important gathering. It is a day, like I said, that is meant for us to interact with people of experience from the different walks of life that will guide us as students in our various career paths. And like Mr. Maron said, from here in the afternoon, we have a cultural show where we want to showcase the culture of the Gambia. So on that note, I thank you all and I welcome you to Kotu Senior Secondary School Humanities Career and Cultural Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Secretary. Thank you for so far on behalf of the department. We don't ask for a better education. Moving on with our program guide, we are going to see Mr. Kyo contribute to talk to us about international relations, political science, and also client relief, and also the kind of opportunities that we have in the realm of international relations, political science, and diplomacy. His presentation should be presented on a PowerPoint, but unfortunately, there is no light. So we will go straight to Uncle Imran Dabo, as I call him. Uncle Imran is a Gambian lawyer working in the areas of transitional justice and human rights. He studied law in the United Kingdom, UK, and trained at the Gambia Law School. He has previously worked at the Ministry of Justice, as well as being the outreach coordinator of the TRRC, that is Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission. He went on to work as advocacy specialist for the Center for the Study of Violence and Reconciliation based in South Africa. His work includes research, policy advocacy, and capacity building. He has conducted numerous trainings in the Gambia and some other African countries. His most recent work has focused on supporting regional transitional justice through the implementation of the African Transitional Justice Policy, promoting youth empowerment, and advocating against gender-based violence. Uncle Imran is a household name in the realm of advocacy, especially when it comes to reforms and, as he said, policy implementation. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome on board lawyer Imran Dabo. And members of the bar can respect senior counsel. First level. Yes.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Good morning, lady colleagues, as they would say. I am a lawyer that does not really like the formalities of the whole, not only law, just formalities in general, right? But I would make it short and say I would like to thank the organizers of this event, and I would also like to greet all of my colleagues at the high table here. But I'm not one for formalities, so I'll jump straight into this conversation. And I also Hope you would allow me to walk around and not stand at the podium, but of course the camera is there, so I can't. All right, so I'll stay put. But yes, talking about careers, you see, as human beings, let me start by saying this, and this is a fact I learned about very recently, that we are the only animals in the whole ecosystem of this world that are really not very relevant to the system. So if all human beings were removed out of the system would still go on. But if you were to remove all the mosquitoes out of the system would collapse, right? The reason why I'm saying this is when we talk about careers, right? We tend to think about careers or successful careers as only a certain group of careers, certain group of jobs, a lawyer, a doctor, a pilot, these fancy kind of professions. And sometimes they really are not very relevant to our systems. Gambia doesn't need more of a lot of these things that we have. What Gambia needs is more nurses, more doctors, more police officers, more people that can build the system, that contribute a lot more to the system that just take away from the system, right? So, when we talk about career, success is not about the quantity. So when we're talking about advising you about choosing a career, it's not for you to be thinking about what job can I have in life that's going to give me a big, nice house, or what job can I do to be as famous as Ronaldo or Messi or President Barrow or whoever. It is not about the quantity. It's about the quality, right? So, when we say a successful career, it's going to be, even if it's within your neighborhood that you're doing work. Let's say you are a welder man. Make sure you weld in a way that whenever somebody passes and you're no longer there, they are going to say, oh, the man that used to weld here was a great welder. That is what a career is about. That is how you contribute to the world, and that is what career is about, right? So, a lot of most of the first part of our lives we spend learning to develop ourselves as human beings, and learning is not only to learn math, English, social studies, and all of these subjects, law or whatever it is, right? It is about developing yourself as a human being, right? And from there you get to go on to the majority part of your life to be doing something, a career, right? Which is what we spend most of our lives doing until retirement age, when we are old and no longer able to really produce anything. Which means that you have to really think about what do you want to spend that most of your life doing. And some people have thought it's wealth, and they've pursued wealth, and we have millionaires and billionaires who end up committing suicide. That tells you that it's not about the money, it's not about the material that you get from a career, right? I'm here to talk about law, but I'll come to that in a minute. So, there is a verse in the Quran, in Surah Yasin, and I'm using the Quran because I'm Muslim. That's the example I can give. But it says, "Inna nahnu nuhil mauta ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في كتاب مبين." So it says that God is talking, that He is the one who raises the dead. But He also says that He records everything they have put forward, which is the deeds that we do, hoping that when we get to the next world, we get to paradise, right? But He also said, we also record what they have. Their footprints, basically, the footprints. So we also record their footprints. That is what they have left behind, the marks that they have left behind. So it is important, your legacy. And your legacy can only happen through your career. Whatever you choose to do in this life, at the end of that, people will look back at that and say, oh, he was a terrible president. He was a very corrupt lawyer. He was a very good doctor. Or he was a very good teacher, right? So it is important to understand that when you are thinking about career, it is about what you leave behind. And what you leave behind cannot be materials because those perish, they go away. No amount of money you leave behind will last. No amount of houses you leave behind will be remembered. It is, and one of the Muslim Sufi scholars, Rumi, he is said to have narrated that, or to have said that, when we die, he said, don't look for us in the tombs, in the graveyards. Look for us in the hearts of those that we inspire. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. So what you leave behind is not about the institute buildings that you put in place or the money that you left at the bank. It is how many people you have impacted positively. That is the measure of a successful career, right? Now, I am a lawyer. I didn't actually automatically choose to be a lawyer. I went to the UK in 2001. I was meant to study business, right? And even before that, I'll tell you something that might be shocking, that I dropped out of school, high school, right? Because of things that if I really think back now, I would not have done. So it's not to say, oh, I can drop out of school, but I can be successful still. I dropped out of school because I wasn't listening to what I was being told, and that cost me quite a lot. It also slowed down my progress through life. But I didn't also drop out of school because I was disinterested or because I wanted a shortcut. I was not satisfied with what I was doing. I didn't take the right approach to fix it. So I dropped out, but then I did the private examinations, and then I went to study business. I didn't like business. It wasn't for me. It was boring. It was not something that I wanted to do. So after a few months, I left. Somebody told me, oh, but you should try international relations. I tried that. Few weeks, I left. Then somebody said, oh, but you like science. You should try forensic physics. And I tried that. It was winter time, it was too cold, I gave up on that, no, right? So after I just spent time, drifting around, doing different things, but not sure what I wanted to do. So don't be pressed to decide on what you want to do or what you think your career should be now. It will come to you. As a young person, that is part of your development, to understand yourself, to understand your role or your values in life, and then act on those. So it's not pressure to do it, but it doesn't also mean you have to go relax and just play around and not think about it. Think about it while you are taking your time to understand yourself more. Okay? So I spent a lot some time, my cousins or all these younger siblings graduating, and I didn't graduate. And then I thought, okay, I need a shortcut. I'm going to do journalism as a master's because I can rely on my experience writing and doing all of these things. So I started to do that. But then somebody asked me to help them on an assignment they had. They were writing their thesis on law. And I helped them through that. And I realized, oh my God, I like this, the idea of law and what it is supposed to do and all of that. And I decided, let me apply for law. I applied, I was accepted. Here I am as a lawyer now. Right? My point here is this, like I said, you don't artificially have to decide on a career. Okay, oh, go study, be a doctor because a doctor makes a lot of money. Right? People tell you that kind of thing. It's a world where you are now, where everybody tells you how to do something, how to be successful, how to be rich. Go on YouTube. They tell you all these things of how to do things. Figure yourself out, know who you are first, and then you will know exactly what you need to do, not what people are telling you should do. So that's the point I got to. I realized that law is my thing because of what? It aligned with my values. Right? So if I'm telling you to pursue a career, my first advice would be, make sure it is your values number one, and based on those values, you decide which of these careers that you have options to do is going to help you achieve the best out of those values that you have. So, as a lawyer, my values in life have always been some number of things. One, that I have always wanted to ensure justice. Like, I get really frustrated and agitated when I see injustice, right? So that was one of the characteristics I know I had. The second characteristic I had was that I am always wondering, why are people fighting each other? Why are people arguing? Why are people killing each other, right? I want peace, right? So that was also a core value that I knew I had, right? The other thing was also to ensure human dignity. I remember when I was young and I had a fight with somebody because they were bullying someone I didn't know at all, but I just could not take that idea, right? So I got involved in that, and that third issue is also a problem for me, that I want to ensure that the kind of dignity I enjoy, I want to see everybody else enjoy that. So those were my values, right? And when I helped this person doing that law assignment or thesis, I realized that using the law, I can actually push these values to benefit other people and not just myself. That was my motivation. So that is my first advice to you as career advice. I am not here to tell you go study law because it's going to give you a good career, you will be rich. There are terrible lawyers in the world. You see, no career is a vehicle that will take you to success. Right? You are the driver, you decide whether that career will take you to success or to something else. Right? So my first advice is, make sure you try to figure out what your values in life are and find what you can do, or wherever you find yourself. Sometimes you don't choose a career, you just find yourself in a situation. But if you find yourself in a situation, make sure you use that situation to advance your values, to make those values more meaningful for not only you but for the rest of society. That is my first advice. My second advice is also that you, especially you young people, you live in a world now where, you know, everything that you get is referenced from social media, the television, and the media generally, right? What that does is it tells you what success should be. You go on YouTube, you find successful, everybody wants to be an influencer now, right? And it's making people do things that they normally would not do. So my point is, you live in a world where you are being told what is successful, what is good, what values you should have. And because of that, and also because of the fact that they collect the best out of, because whatever comes on social media is not the reality. It's the 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour clip of somebody's life that you are seeing. You are not seeing the other 24 hours, 23 hours, or the other, 60 minutes or 59 minutes of their life. What you are seeing is just the best part of that person's life, right? And what that makes you do is you become envious. You start to want what they have or what you think they have on social media. And that makes you follow trends. I hate this thing of this is what is trending now. If you want a successful career, don't follow trends. Don't follow trends. Trends are just basically you putting your brain down and then you wanting somebody else, or close your eyes and tell somebody to hold your hand and guide you and take you where you want to go. It is not going to help you. So don't follow trends, right? I'm sure I can tell you don't follow social media. You're already addicted, right? But think for yourself. That is how you get to a good career. Don't just follow everything that you see, right? A lot of these, and I can, if I have the time, give you a lot of stories of influencers who have ended up committing suicide. Actually, yesterday I went online because of this presentation to check how many social media influencers had committed suicide. There is a number of them, right? So don't go just wanting what other people want. Figure who you are, what are your values, what do you want, find a career that will enhance that, and don't do it just for yourself. Make sure it's going to impact others. How are you going to make that impact is the third advice I have for you, which is that you have to be competent in whatever you do. It does not have to be, or it cannot be, a performance. What I mean by a performance is, don't pretend to be smart. Be smart. And anybody can be smart if they work hard at doing it. At whatever job you want. If it is law you want to be, go study, read, as the first speaker said here. Read, learn, try to understand, know what's going on around the world, and think. Right? These shortcuts that you are now being given, how to be successful, how to be rich, how to be a good lawyer, how to be a president, how to win elections, how to be a public speaker. All of these things, nobody can give you a recipe of a success. You have to learn it. And so you need to be competent. But what this, again, social media generation is doing to you is to make you take pictures. You go to one event on human rights, for example, right? And you take a picture. The first thing you think about is not to actually listen to whoever is speaking. You actually want to get a picture with the most popular or the most famous person there. And then you post that on social media and you say, oh, I am, at the International Conference for Human Rights. That is not going to make you an expert in human rights. So learn, teach yourself. And try to be competent at whatever you do. Even if, like I said earlier, weatherman, street sweeper, whatever you do, make sure, like Rumi said, you leave that mark in the hearts of the people, the few people who know you, or the many people who know you. But make sure you leave a mark. For me, that is the successful career. And in law, and I will conclude with that, in law, you have to understand that law is just rules that are made. Law cannot be any meaningful or useful to society unless it is connected to justice, right? And before you become a lawyer is when you have that motivation to be defending human rights, to defend people. Once you get into a classroom and they teach you law, they teach you that these are the rules, whether you like them or not, this is the law, you must obey it. So it actually ties your hands behind your back. Unless you want to fight and cut those ties loose, you are going to become part of the system that is going to be abusive to people. So you have to make sure those values that you have, you maintain them. That is the only way you become a good lawyer. That is the only way you become a successful lawyer. And that is why I keep doing what I'm doing, because I believe, if you ask me, I believe I am pretty successful, and it's not an arrogant statement. I believe I am pretty successful, but I give that credit of that success, not because I am a lawyer, but because I chose to stick to the values that I have. And I have decided that nothing, no amount of money temptation, no amount of anything will make me change that or those values. And so I conclude with that. I hope this gives you food for thought, and I hope you will reflect on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and please let us put our hands together once again for